Hello and welcome to busyworksbeats.com. I need you guys to smash the like button to add that oxygen back to my lungs. It's been a long day, but today I'm going to show you how to make melodies inside of FL Studio specifically because it's a lot easier to work in the piano roll. So firstly, melodies are, they have a foundation called a chord. If you're building a house, the house needs a foundation before you start building the walls and building whatever else the house needs. You need to build the stuff that goes into the ground first so that the house doesn't fall over. And that's called harmony or chords. It creates the musical canvas or the musical foundation for the melody to exist. Also with melody, a lot of producers are overly thinking about the melody because they're trying to make the beat do everything. You have to remember that an artist wants to look at your beat as if it's a canvas and they want to paint too. So if you're expecting an artist to get on your beat and you leave them zero room, or if they do their melody, it's always conflicting against the melody of your beat, they're going to be like, why even waste time recording to this? So you have to leave room for the artist to actually add their own melody. So I'll show you ways to add melody without, getting in the way of an artist, so to speak. Firstly, let's write. This is going to be a long one, I think. So let's do a 2-5-1 chord progression. We do this all the time. And let's lower the velocity and then turn up the volume so we can hear it. All right, so let's do a 2-5-1. So we're doing a minor ninth chord into a dominant ninth chord. You've seen this a gazillion times if you watch my videos. But the reason I start here is because this is a good pivot point. You could do a lot with this. Okay, so most people don't even know they could do stuff like tritone substitutions or, altered chords. What we'll do is raise the fifth and ninth. Okay, so that creates a vibe. We'll do that 3 times. And on the fourth thing, I'm going to move a little bit quicker here, but if you want the how-to about it, what is harmony? What are scales? What are modes? What are altered chords? What are dominant chords? What are chord extensions? That's what I teach in music theory magic. For this video, I don't have enough time to really go through everything. So at the end here, what I'm going to do is pull those back down, and we're going to convert this last chord to a minor chord. And even so, we can flatten the fifth and ninth. So that really gets the ear ready for that minor chord, which is not that's called parallel scale. Okay, now also sound matters for this type of genre. So let's open up a JD800 from Keyscape. And this is gonna give us that 80s R&B type sound. Okay, so most people don't think about the bass as a melodic instrument, but I want you guys to think about the bass as a melodic instrument. So let's copy the chords, and the bass is going to be very, very expressive here. So let's copy the chords into the bass. We're going to play only the bottom notes here. Let's start here, and then we could change out the notes. Let's add the bass into let's pull this bass up an octave, control up. A little hard to hear the bass. So I'm using ample bass P. I want to make sure too that this is the same tuning because sometimes I change the tuning in Keyscape and I forget to change it back. Okay, so we need to change this back to 440 hertz tuning. Okay, so right now the bass is doing 3 notes. Now let's move a little bit quicker here and animate the bass. So we can add octaves, fifths. Let's add an octave. And then we can move up to the octave using fifths. So do 1, 2, 3 like that. So we could use the fifth, which is kind of the in between, or we could use tritones, either one, which is 6 semitones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so tritone's good because our ear kind of latches on and we're waiting for something to happen. And then half steps are really good for bass. And then we could do, which is just a half step walk up, it's called. Going back to using half steps, we're going one note to the next note to the next note. That's another bass technique. Okay, so let's copy this same bass. And at the end here, I'm just going to change up the timing. So it goes do-do-do instead of do-do-do. We're going to make these notes longer. You might not be able to see, my head might be in the way. All I'm doing is just making the notes longer. Okay, so now the bass is moving a lot more. Now you could do a lot more with bass. Let's pull the bass down an octave. So now the track feels like it's doing something and it feels like a melody, but we don't have this distracting thing going on that most people think we need. Now what we'll do over top of this is add a Stratocaster guitar. And let's see what BPM are we at, about 70 BPM. Let's see if we can drop some drums in here. These drums may be a little too aggressive. So now we just need something to bounce around. We don't need something to distract and be the main thing. This could be a lead sound, guitar sound, piano sound, but we're gonna focus on the higher frequencies so that it stands out from the chord. Let's use a guitar in this case. I'll show you a kind of very fast way to go about this. I know I'm talking fast, but because we're in a major scale, let's right click our typing keyboard and let's go to what's called the major pentatonic. So now I can kind of freestyle. There's no rhyme or reason to it. We could just kind of play up and down the keys, up and down the scale. See how that just works? So the pentatonic is great for improv like this. Let's record that. Right there, we went out of key, so I'm going to manually change that note. Okay, so that last note just needed to be a half step change. So that's how quick you can write melody. We're not using the background instruments to distract the listener. So let's pull this down an octave just so it kind of fits in with the chord so it's not jumping out. Now, another part of this is the expression of the guitar. In short, in FL Studio, you can browse parameters. We're going to go down to what's called the MIDI CC number 1, which is the mod control. And the mod control for this specific plugin, if we create an automation clip for it, it creates the vibrato effect. Now, that's only for this specific plugin. now we have an expressive melody, but the bass line is doing most of the work. All right, if you want to learn more, go to busyworksbeats.com/music theory magic. I'll leave a link below, but that's how far you can take it. Thank you for watching. It's Game for busyworksbeats.com. Peace.